Hello and welcome to the Late Lunch Leftovers podcast. This is where we take a look back at some of the highlights of the past week. And we had a lot of debate last week about things like ketchup, pineapple on pizza, things like that. It'll all become clear as you listen. And as part of our Village Hall series, we also headed to Ramsey and went to the courthouse. But as I say, it was a lot of debate last week. And let's start with this first one then, which is all about when in the Isle of Man do you eat your dinner? James says lunch is always at lunchtime, 1 p.m-ish. Tea is an informal meal with immediate family at 6 p.m-ish. Dinner is with guests at maybe 8 p.m, whoever went to a tea party. I've been to a tea party.
Boston tea party.
You see, if she says that's why they're called dinner ladies, what does it say in your contract? You don't get a dinner hour, you get a lunch hour. Most people have a lunch hour, don't they?
Texter ending in 225 says, I have brunch and tupper. Thanks very much for that, Bondi.
I think
Brunch on Sundays.
I think that could be made up. Brunch is a good, is a well appreciated word, isn't it? Brunch now, could often have brunch. Tupper, I think, it's good.
That is a good one. I like it.
Amalgam, yeah.
Viv says, I have lunch at midday and dinner at around 6 p.m. So lunch tends to be, right, how about this? How about this? Okay, if you have something cold for your lunch, like a sandwich, it's lunch. If you have something hot, then it's dinner. And then you could have that at lunchtime or dinner time.
Are you suggesting
Does that work?
Compromise?
Well, it's kind of a compromise, but it's like just
There's
trying to make
definite
sense
split.
of it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll come on at 3 o'clock. If you can go across there and sort out Brexit as well, that's your day's work done.
Oh, please.
What do
We're
you
having a
eat?
Brexit ban here.
What do you eat tupper off?
Pardon?
What do you eat your tupper off?
What do you eat your tupper off?
Tupperware. Oh, never
Right.
mind.
Alex Brinney
I'll
is
say
here,
wasted
thank
here.
goodness, after 3 o'clock. I had no idea. You need to write stuff like that down and prepare me. Do you know what I mean? I can't do things like that off the cuff.
Write stuff like that down and just put it in a box somewhere.
In the bin.
Yeah, that round box in the corner.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
You've been swimming in the sea recently, Beth. Is that what?
No.
I mean,
We even went to France and even the Atlantic didn't tempt me in, I'm going to be honest.
Well, it's not, to be fair, been the best weather of late for a dip around the Isle of Man. But one man has been enjoying the local waters. He sort of got into the water. He enjoyed it so much, he carried on right the way around the entire coastline, swimming for some 100 miles or so. Mike Davis started his challenge on the 12th of August. He's been in most days, weather allowing, since. And I'm glad to say he finished yesterday and joins us in the studio today. First off, many congratulations, Mike. It's just an incredible challenge. It's difficult to believe it's possible, really, from someone with my meagre swimming standards. But you said at the beginning of the challenge, you said, I'm a keen outdoor swimmer, but I wouldn't describe myself as a super strong swimmer. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. When I began this, I realised what I was going to have to do was actually go back to doing some swimming lessons, go to a coach and try to fix all the flaws in my front crawl technique, which has been very good. See if I could do this and become the third person to do it. The first two, both women, real superstar swimmers, first in 1930 and the second last year. So I was never going to be in their league, but I figured if I improved my technique and got fit enough, I might get round.
And so why, I suppose? Was it because of Manx links? Was it because you looked at the women who'd done it beforehand, or was there something else driving you to take on the challenge?
Well, I suppose a cynic might say, well, this is a classic sort of midlife crisis type challenge where you have somebody in early middle age trying to prove that they've still got it themselves and possibly other people too. Maybe that's the most honest explanation. I fancy doing a long swim. I do love swimming, love outdoor swimming, love the feeling of swims that are a sort of journey. And I hit on the idea of coming to the Isle of Man because it's where half my family's from. My mum's family goes back 500 plus years here, and I guess there was a part of me that wanted a artificial pretext to come and spend a chunk of time here, because since my grandparents died, I've not spent a lot of time on the island, so that was a big part of the motivation. I wanted to get to know it better.
You were also raising money, of course, for a couple of causes close to your heart, I think, the Manx Wildlife Trust and the Blue Marine Foundation.
That's right. I wanted to do that too. As somebody who spends quite a bit of time in the sea, I really value it. I recognise increasingly that it's really important to all of us that we look after our seas well, not just from the perspective of the wildlife and biodiversity, but also the role which seas play in mitigating climate change too. And so that was quite a motivation for me. I've never done something which is really dedicated towards supporting that cause. And as I got ready to do this swim, I actually became aware that the Isle of Man is doing relatively pretty well in terms of looking after its inshore waters and setting a good example, and that was an additional incentive as well.
OK, you kept a blog, Mike, of how the swim is going, and lovely to hear that you were joined by seals en route. Not so nice that you've also been stung by jellyfish. That would not tempt me back in.
Yeah, I think encounters with jellyfish were always on the cards. When I spoke to Anna Karen Norton, the lady who swam around the island in a week last year with no wetsuit, she's quite phenomenal. She told me about getting badly stung off Lang Ness by one of these lion's mane jellyfish, and described how she put some shaving foam on the stung area, scraped off the stings with a credit card, took some painkillers and carried on swimming. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to do that, but I knew I'd have to be ready for a few stings and that my wetsuit wouldn't stop all of them. Yeah,
so I could definitely see you doing this, Beth.
Can you?
I can see you with the credit card scraping at the stings.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
We are having the great late lunch ketchup debate. That is a self-titled thing that I've just come up with there, because it has turned into something of a debate, Ben. We're talking about this because the Vamps bass player Connor Bull sparked what we can only describe as a ketchup controversy after he tweeted a photograph of what looks like chicken nuggets or something covered in ketchup. I mean, it was actually covered completely. And he put underneath, never trust someone that covers their food in ketchup. But some people think that if you can still see the food underneath the ketchup, then there's not enough.
Okay, well, it is one of those, isn't it? It's how much ketchup do you have, or whatever sauce, because I'm not personally a great sauce person. I tend to have, if it was a bacon sandwich, which I have regularly, I don't have anything on it in terms of... No, nothing at all.
Not even brown sauce?
No.
Wow.
Or red. I could have it with red over brown, but, I tend to have it without. So maybe I fall into a very strange category. But yeah, the debate is certainly hotting up. Looking at our Facebook page, if you want to contribute there. Gemma says definitely dip. And Nick as well says dip gives you the option to change the flavour of your meal at your leisure. But if you smother, you're stuck with it. So definite logic there. Fenella says, in my son Max's case, he does both, even eats croissants with ketchup.
No.
So I once knew someone who had ketchup on a roast dinner.
No. With gravy?
I'm not sure if that would be mad, wouldn't it, with both? And here, I think it's how you do both. We were talking about this before because Louise says she does both, cover and have a side portion just in case. So that's basically saying if there's not enough, if you smother, you've got a bit extra. So,
gosh, it's weird, isn't it? I know someone who has ketchup with baked beans. Now, I think that's weird because it's already got a tomatoey sauce with it.
Yeah, there's so much kind of juice, isn't there, with the beans? That's a bit of a strange one.
So
I think this is very much a personal thing, isn't it? And it seems people differ wildly on how they do this.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
Welcome to Ramsey Courthouse. We are here this afternoon as we continue our Village Hall series. Really looking forward to this one. There is so much that happens here and so many plans for the future, which we're going to be finding out about over the course of the next hour. And we started with Wet, Wet, Wet because I think, well, the courthouse is the hub of the community, and community is about friendships, whether they are existing friendships which have made this happen or friendships that have formed here. And I think that has been a key to this Village Hall series so far.
Oh, absolutely. And I think you just have to see the people around here again today. We've got all sectors of the community. We've got a lovely table of vegetables and fruit over there we're coming to in a moment. We've got the wonderful summer singers here who rehearse here. It's already used, I think, widely, and it's just going to get better and better as the years go on.
It really is. Well, let's meet Andy Cowie, Chair of Ramsey Town Commissioners now. Andy, thank you very much for letting us broadcast from here.
You're very welcome. It's nice to see you, Beth. Good afternoon. And I'd just like to welcome yourselves, Aaron, Beth, and the Manx Radio team to the heart of Ramsey. It's great to see you. We really appreciate you coming up here and enjoying some of our lovely weather.
It definitely is brighter up here. Definitely is, Andy. This is
Always.
a real important building, isn't it? It always has been in the heart of Ramsey, but great to have it in use as it is now.
No, it's marvellous. Obviously, we did have quite a bit of trouble obtaining the building for the town, but that was all sorted out very successfully. And we've run a whole load of events in the building over the last year and a half, and it's been really successful, and it's proving to be that heart of the community that we hoped for. And there's some big plans ahead for the future of the building, which we hope will just make it go from strength to strength.
And there are plans to get more and more groups involved really in actually using it for whatever purpose they need.
Very much so, yes. It is a community building, the benefit for the community, and a space for people to use and enjoy as they can. And we've had all sorts of varied events, theatre productions, open mic, go on forever. It's been very popular indeed.
The list is endless. Has it been difficult actually sort of drawing up plans going forward? Because there are so many varied activities, I guess, as you say. You're talking about the open mic, you're talking about the choirs coming and rehearsing here. Some people might just want to come in and maybe use it as a hub where they can come and sit and chat and have a coffee.
Indeed, I mean, having so many different uses for a building does put some pressure on making it a space that everybody can use. That is true, but there have to be some compromises, I think. And again, the building itself is a very old traditional building, you mentioned, and it does have some limitations which we have to work around. But the team from the Heart of Ramsey have got some really exciting plans there, and we fully support those, and hopefully that will give us the best solution.
And you say the limitations, is that just in the nature of the building and the way it's actually made up? Because it was a courthouse, obviously.
It was designed as a courthouse, obviously. I mean, there's a couple of cells around the back there, which you've seen, I think.
Yes, I have rather close quarters, actually. Closer than I was anticipating, but yes.
But it's great, isn't it, having a building which has got this history?
That's absolutely right, Liv. Yes, I think that makes the building special as well. So although it does impose some limitations on the use, it's great to have that character and history behind it.
It does beg the question, isn't it? What can one do with some cells?
Well, I'm sure there are many ideas and many
I don't
answers
like
we
your
could
eye
give
there,
that over the next course of the hour. Andy, we'll probably speak to you again throughout the programme, but thank you so much again for having us here this afternoon. I want to talk to somebody who is key in an event that already happens here, and this is the Isle of Man Farmers Market. Let's introduce Dot Price now. Dot, just tell us a little bit about the Isle of Man Farmers Market.
Right, well, it's a group of people that promote the growing and selling of Manx produce. We have a whole committee. There's lots of markets throughout the island. The one in Ramsey has been the oldest. We're in our 13th year now, and this is the best venue we have had. Thanks to Ramsey Town Commissioners for all their support. We've been in car parks, we've been in the MER station, we've been in community centres, but this is definitely the best one.
It's going to be a proper home.
Yes, it's the hub. And the nice thing is we're outside when the weather's good, and when the weather's inclement, they allow us to come inside.
Perfect.
We have crafts as well as food.
Ah, yes. I did spot actually just looking over there. Can we go and see these vegetables overlooking on the corner over on
yeah,
this table?
Because there are some things in there, Dot, which I did not associate with the Isle of Man.
Everything that you see on that table has been grown on the Isle of Man.
Including the grapes?
Including the grapes. They're grown in a greenhouse in Laxey. A friend of mine does the barter system. She gives me the grapes, I give her cucumbers for her juice. So we like the barter system.
And look at that, because this, you wouldn't recognise that instantly as a cucumber, would you? I think it's crystal apple, I think it's called.
Crystal apple cucumber. The seeds actually came from Australia, from a Manxman who comes over here every TT, and he sent me them as a present.
Really?
So this is the third year we've grown them.
Can we try a piece?
They are very popular. Try them. They're just like an ordinary cucumber, only a little bit sweeter, and a little taste of apple.
Really good.
They're very
Really
popular with kids. Children like them in their lunchbox.
They're kiddie sized, aren't they? I'm spitting cucumber seeds onto the microphone. They're kiddie sized. They're really wonderful.
Yeah. Well, everything is. If you look at the little chopped tomatoes, they're grown in the polytunnel. They're the same, all different varieties, and they look good on a plate, and they're very sweet. So it's all to encourage children to have a healthy diet.
And do you think we're getting the message now about how important it is to support local producers and how much better it is for us to do that?
I think so. We've built up a good trade throughout the years. We've got the same customers come back all the time. We also, it's all seasonal, so you'll not get strawberries or anything at Christmas. You will get them from Ballynelson in the summer with their tomatoes and everything, but we do everything to promote local. And if we don't grow it, we will sell it if it's grown on the Isle of Man.
And there's so much more interest, I think, in local fruit and veg now. People want the provenance of what they're eating.
You're
and
right
if you can
there,
come
yeah.
from just around the corner, I think that's all the better. A few years ago, it was all about, let's get things from the other side of the world. But when you can get beautiful produce like this, why not? And as you say, grapes.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
We're talking about pizza and specifically pineapple on pizza. And I said we were going to get some pizza experts. I was not expecting John and Alex to run into the studio. I have actually got a bona fide pizza expert.
Pizza expert.
Did I say bony?
Yeah,
Bony fide, whatever.
Bony fide. It might be bony.
Yeah. Anyway, I have an expert on the phone in the form of Mike Wade from Black Dog Pizza Oven. Mike, I'm just going to take their microphones out.
I forget the word expert, but go on.
Okay, Mike, you know a lot about pizza though. That makes you an expert, doesn't it?
Really? Okay, fair play.
Let's go with it. We're talking about pineapple on pizza. So, in short crust, yes or no?
Absolutely. I like it myself. I think it's a really nice thing to have on a pizza. But at the end of the day, if you want it, you can have it on a pizza. It doesn't matter. There shouldn't be any rules to it. You want pineapple, you have pineapple.
But this whole sort of sweet savoury thing, I struggle with it.
Well, it's you though, isn't it? I don't. I like it.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Mike. Also, can we just also clarify? Howard was struggling with what the thing is called that you whack the pizza on before you put in the oven.
Paddle.
Paddle. There we are. Paddle.
I mean, like I said, I'm showing my lack of expertise, really, in a sense. But the wooden things are paddle, the metal things are peel.
Okay.
That's how we look at it, I think.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
All right then. So, all right, John and Alex, your thoughts on pizza? John, pineapple, yes or no?
No. Yeah, I really struggle with having the main course and dessert all at once. I just don't get that.
Okay.
And why don't you just put some cream on it at the same time and have done with it? You know, what's that about?
Okay. Alex?
No, I can't stand it either. And pineapple seems to be the thing because people put it on gammon as well and I just can't understand it. Oh, it's just wrong.
Yeah, it goes well with them.
Oh, no, it's just wrong. You know, for me, it's got to be a pepperoni.
It's a nice balance. You get that nice salty sweet balance. It's nice.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's other fruit. What's wrong with a bit of melon or something like that? What's pineapple got to do with it?
Did somebody...
Strawberry pizza?
No, strawberry pizza, stop. Did somebody once, by accident, drop a piece of pineapple once they'd made a pizza and think, oh, yeah, that works.
Do you regularly drop stuff on food when you're cooking and go,
somehow.
I'll tell you what, I'll eat that now.
Pineapple.
I don't understand. Those are all our late lunch leftovers for this week. Do tune in for the main helping on Manx Radio, weekdays just after 2 p.m.
Every week, of course, we'll have our regular features with Duxford Diaries. We'll have Mark Tiley's Greatest Hit, Midweek Mindfulness, and plenty more with our monthly guests as well.
But for now, thank you so much for listening to the Late Lunch Leftovers podcast. We'll see you again next time.